Greetings, community. It's me, Kevin, from 1-2 Comic Talk. Happy Friday. Cocktails and comics. Great Friday, actually, if you think about it. We got our comic books back. They're going to be coming in steadily on a small stream, kind of a trickle, not to kill us. We got DC this week. A little more DC with some back issues next week. Got some Marvel coming in. Indies will be trickling back in. The week after, we'll have more trades and even more will pick up. Slow and steady. But hey, how about we enjoy this evening with another guest? Say,
Yo, what up?
How are you?
What's going on?
Fine evening to you, sir.
Chilling, man. Chilling, just You said what?
Fine evening to you. I hope you're doing
fine evening to you.
Hey, well, thank you.
I'm doing good.
Cool.
Finishing the first one right here.
Sweet.
I'm doing good. Finished my day strong. I was gonna do a little bit of Uber Eats on my bike, but I had to repair it because it got a flat. And I bought the wrong inner tube, and I just ended up patching up the inner tube that popped. So ended up working out. I'm just gonna go back and replace the ones I bought, the inner tubes I bought tomorrow. So
cool.
Yeah, but I'm good. I'm doing good. School year's almost over, so I'm just trying to get ready for the summer.
Hey, you seem like you're in good spirits. You seem like you're healthy. You seem like you got a big smile on your face. So
I always got a big smile on my face.
Well, that's true, but still, I mean, it's a good sign.
Yeah.
Sign.
How about you? How are you and Kai doing?
He's doing good. Okay, so he goes through a charter school and he goes to Da Vinci Academy. Okay. You know what Da Vinci is?
I've never. I know who he is, but I've never heard of that academy before.
No, the Da Vinci Academy. We are the ones that kind of pioneer this whole charter system and how things are done in the nation. So basically, everyone watches us. That's why we're calling the Innovation Academy.
Nice.
We're also divided. We divided our school up in the high school into 3 different sections as far as academia. I'm not going to get into all that. That's not what it's about. What I'm really getting into is Kai from the 2nd grade all the way up into now has always predominantly been homeschooled. So it wasn't that much of a, a change for us. And then as far as up to this point, yesterday was his last day that he had of academics that they were going to give to him. So today were the last day that he actually had to turn anything in. Next week, one of the big differences, and you may enjoy this, is that when they learn a particular subject, they have to not just regurgitate the information, but understand and actually utilize it in a pragmatic way. He has to do a presentation of learning, or a POL. And what he does is he explains not only what he learns, but how it's properly utilized, what he had learned. So if they were to say, hey, look, we need you to take a simple math equation and then show us practically how it would be explained to someone, and then show us how you would utilize that in real life.
Yeah. How to apply it to the real world, basically.
So he has his presentation of learning next week, and once he does that, he's done. So from now to then, it's a matter of just writing it out, rehearsing, and then going over the time period and touching on the correct points for the correct duration of time.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting because I know we had to do something like that our senior year, take something that we wanted to do, career-wise, and how it's applied to like what we've learned, in school. So that's interesting that they're doing that. Now, like every year. That's pretty good, because a lot of kids end up complaining about, how am I going to utilize this, in the real world.
Well, one of the things that we were always smacked with was the hypocrisy of how we learned. And what I mean by that is we learned in a group per se, but we were sectioned off and told not to assist one another. We were told when we raised our hands that we'd get help, but we couldn't get the one-on-one with the individuals we need until either a person was illegally showing us, or we sought help either before or after class in some type of elective type class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or we sought help me out, a person, another teacher that when you go.
Oh yeah, it's just another damn, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You know, get a
So,
different
what this
perspective.
does is it does the exact opposite. It says, look, in the real world, you're always working with people. So
Yeah.
what we're gonna do? No. She'll come in and out. Is that we're always working with people, and we always have to figure out how we're gonna work with people, right?
Mhm.
So what they
Yeah.
do is more times than not, they'll pick certain subject matters and then they'll work with one another. But when it comes to presentation of learning, they will present what they learn and how they learned it individually, but always they're working together in groups
Yeah.
on how they're learning and what they're learning about and how they're going to explain it to one another, and they're ping-ponging off of one another. And if you think about it in real life, that's what we're always doing.
Yeah, you're gonna end up having to work with different type of people, so you have to get used to that and get comfortable with that. You know, that's why I always like I put my students in groups that are going to challenge them, and then every couple of weeks I would rotate them out into a different group because you're not, like you said, you're not going to always be the same group all the time. You know, we're so used to clicking up all the time, especially like in school. That's a social thing. You know, that's okay, but you also have to learn how to branch out. You know, I was very introverted and you know, growing up until I got to college. College really opened me up a little bit more. But yeah, I think if I would have been more open to work with different groups, you know, I probably would have been a little more not prepared, but just a little more comfortable as you know as I made that transition to adulthood.
There was a lot of things that were very hypocritical when it came to the application of what we learned, to how we learned it, to how we're applying it to, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
those things in and of itself, there was a difficult segue because it was a hard gear change. There was no, like, transmission per se, you know what I mean?
yeah.
When I was told, hey, you're not allowed to do this, and then I was told, hey, you need to come over here and collectively do this, I was, wait, what? You know what I mean? Or, so it came into different mentalities of like, okay, I have to abandon this type of mentality and adopt this, meaning I played organized sports. So when it came to certain things, I had to sit there and go, oh, you want me to think as an organized sports type idea.
Yeah,
And then I had to go, okay, now you want me to think of as an individual that I can't rely on anybody type mentality. But it was difficult to sit there and figure out when and where you were supposed to make that distinction.
yeah,
Where now these kids, they are told, and they're saying, and they're never told no and you're wrong and all that. They're saying, well, in these circumstances that would apply, but in these
yeah,
circumstances it doesn't. In these, you know what I mean? And they're as opposed to just giving hard black and white, there's a lot of gray being taught, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
how to apply that in the real world, because as we both know, a lot of things are kind of depending on the circumstance, or depending on a particular person or a place or a reason, do we do things? It's not always a black and white situation, if that makes
yeah. No, it's not. You know, and that's kind of what we. Oh, what's up, Captain Comics? That's when you gotta have to learn how to get kids to step outside their comfort zone. You know, because you're always going to be put in situations you may not necessarily be quote unquote comfortable with because you know this is like your first exposure to this, you know, whatever that thing is.
And another cool thing is, as we know, like, let's regress, meaning let's go ahead and dump off a good 100 years off time. I love playing these mind kind of games and thought games. And what I mean by this is we were forced to interact with one another. Well, now a lot of times we're jumping in, especially kids, they're sitting behind a computer playing games, right?
Yeah.
So what better way to kind of show them and how to interact and still remain somewhat social and retain certain how should I say just etiquette, if nothing else, you know what I mean? How to conduct themselves with people and all that. What better
Yeah.
way than go ahead and have these kids stand in front of a class, stand in front of the peers, stand in front of teachers, stand in front of sometimes foreign schools. And I don't mean, necessarily abroad, but I'm just saying a neighboring school will come in, not affiliated, to come in.
Yeah.
They want to see how information is being presented by a student, so and as us of parents, we're also teachers.
Yeah.
So we are also
You guys wear many hats, just
right.
like
We're
teachers.
we're also at the schools. So when they're
Yeah.
presenting, they're presenting to us too. So they're also hopping around from class to class, and then they're presenting to other classmates off shift,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, from their presentation.
Yeah.
And that counts as points towards their presentation.
So are they going to be doing that over Zoom, or are they actually going to be in front of their peers?
Yeah, and this time, unfortunately, they're going to have to do it behind a camera type situation.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Which is a trip for Kai because it works out for him because of, coincidentally, we've been doing this now for 11 months. He has comfort behind this and presenting and jumping around the camera and everything.
He should be comfortable with it by now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, did you end up finally getting any books this week or no?
My LCS, I didn't get any new books, but I was able to pick up the books that I hadn't been able to pick up for 2 months.
That's perfect.
My LCS is doing curbside pickup, including, hold on, give me 1 second.
No, that's good. Yeah. Anyways, community, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you guys. And out there in the community, did you get anything as far as pickups? Did you find anything that you were looking for? Is there anything out there that was sold out you were trying to get?
But I got my Kanto. I don't know where I put it. It's somewhere over here. But I got my Kanto trade as well because I had that on. I put that on hold, before the whole Corona situation happened. So I'm glad I was able to get that.
Nice. So, do you mind if I ask how much you pay for it?
I only paid 20 for it.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, Christy.
What's up, Christy?
Hey, we appreciate you dropping in. No, that's actually not a bad price, because I even know that IDW for a while they were selling them, I think, for $30, and then Sign, I think they might have been going for as much as $50.
Nice. No, I think the back of the book said 25, but I think they gave me a discount. My store gave me a discount, so they're pretty cool like that.
Maybe it was at IDW. They were selling them for Sign that.
Oh,
maybe it was like
nice.
$30 at IDW, and yeah, maybe that's what it was.
But I finally was able to pick up a bunch of stories I had been wanting to read for a minute. Finally was able to read Wolverine. Oh, there we go. Wolverine.
Chrissy says hi, and she hopes that you are well.
Oh, what's up, Chrissy? I'm doing okay. School year's almost over, so trying to do the transition to summer school. Well, just summer. I'm not teaching summer school, but I'll probably end up finding some kind of summer gig until I've been really digging this story. I need to finish reading issue 3. And then this story has been really good. X-Men and Fantastic Four. Really been
a lot of people digging that, yeah.
Yeah, I've really been digging this. And this one as well. Far Sector. This has been really good. Art is phenomenal. Story is really good. You don't have to be a super duper hardcore Green Lantern fan to be a fan of the story, because it's it doesn't have a lot of Green Lantern mythos. She just happens to be a Green Lantern, and she's on basically the edge of the universe and some planet where they don't have violence. Violence has been gone for hundreds of years, and so she's just some bored cop there, and then the first murder happens after 500 years, and so she has to solve the mystery. So it's a really interesting mystery story, trying to figure out what's going on. You know, you get a little bit of a backstory in the further issues. It's really good.
Sounds
And
interesting.
yeah. If you ever get a chance to pick it up and trade, I highly suggest it. It's really good. And then I've been really digging the Black Panther story, so I haven't got a chance to reissue number 21 or 22, so I'm going to be going ahead and doing that.
And that's all you got today?
Not today. I picked up mine on Tuesday, so I just been slowly reading this throughout the week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I got the Canto book, and I bought some bag and boards and a long box and a short box. You know, because I needed that for a long time. I have books, you know, that need to be put away, and like I ain't got no place to put them. So I was finally able to, you know, buy a couple of those. And
yeah, Kai and I finally come to the conclusion that we're going to go ahead and sell some books. This is going to be our first. We're not going to be selling a whole lot, but we're going to sell a select few. And
being that down, right?
Well, you know, I feel bad, and it's he's the one that's pushing this because I've taken over his room. I've taken over my son's closet space, so I gotta.
Well, I've been thinking about the same thing, just downsizing, you know, becoming more of a focused collector, you know, because there's a lot of things that I want to collect, you know, but there was a lot of things I was just kind of grabbing as a young collector. You know, I didn't collect, you know, as a kid. I have only been collecting for like 6 years, and 3 of those hardcore, you know.
Right.
So, you know, I haven't been doing this for too long, but I've accumulated a lot of stuff, you know, because I go to there's a lot of flea markets out here. You know, I have a half-price bookstore. It's a couple of them out here in the Bay Area. So, you know, sometimes one
really
of them
enticing, really easy.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
You know, you're like, it's only, you know, $3. Well, I end up doing that. I end up buying it might be the third book that I have of the same book. You know, it's a Spider-Man #1. You know what I mean? You know, it's classic McFarlane. But it was only $3.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, look how good of a condition. How can I pass this up?
I gotta have the silver, the gold,
exactly.
Red, black.
This is the green one. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, see, so that's where I'm at right now. Is like I have to get rid of a couple. Kai and I decided we'll be really select on. He even hit me up again today. He's like, which ones are we definitively going to get rid of?
You guys have a lot of like signed books, though, right?
Exactly. And he goes, the ones that are you considering are what? And I said, well, anything that we have 3 of, and anything that we have 3 of definitely signed. We can get rid of to the community because we have 3 of them signed.
Yeah.
So, and I just finished today my structure for how I've devised a way to change the way auctions are done. And between myself, Metaphorical, and Z, we are going to unveil this next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday.
Nice.
And when we do that, I will sell my books as a inaugural, you know, way of doing it. You know what I mean? We're going to go ahead and cut that ribbon and display the way we're going to do this with me selling a few books. And they'll be on an auction. And, you know, I even have a Canto #6 signed by David Boyer.
Nice.
You know, so yeah, we'll see how all that works out. You know, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of like style, what kind of like system you guys have created. So I'm definitely going to tune in. You said next Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm not certain if we're going to do it on Z's channel or on Metaphorical. And not, you know, it doesn't have to be on mine. And I don't even care if we rotate down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have enough books, nor am I kind of thinking at that mentality yet to have that amount of books to where I can continue to do what I want. But that doesn't mean that the system won't continue on after me. And what I mean by that is, as soon as we employ this and this baby is birthed, there's no unbirthing it. Everyone's going to adopt it. And when I mean everyone, I mean eBay, I mean, it doesn't matter what you do. This is going to change the way the world does online auctions.
Nice.
You know, unfortunately, I won't get any real money out of this idea, even though I have. This is the beginning of the platform of the idea.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is it's going to create a nice even playing field for everyone, and it's going to eliminate a lot of bickering, a lot of spite, a lot of animosity, a lot of stupidity, a lot of things. I would say the majority of the complaints that are out there in the world, I believe, will be eliminated. Now, like anything else, there'll probably be a new birth of complaints, but you know, I mean, that's like any idea.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, I have what shit. I think this is it right here. Let's see what I got here.
Do you have a lot of books that are slabbed, or?
Well, I was thinking about selling one slab, and the slab I'm thinking about selling is Usagi Yojimbo #1.
Nice.
It's never been cleaned. It's never been pressed.
From this recent run?
No.
Or the original one?
Yes, not the
wow.
not the 1990. The first one we did Phantasmagoric thing, but not the one before that. You know,
okay.
I would have to show you, but yeah, I'm thinking about selling one because I have that slab, but I never had it cleaned and pressed. I just want to see how the whole process was, so I just sent it in.
Okay, cool.
It's signed, it's authenticated, but I think it's a 8.5. But I'm sure if you were to clean and press it, because it was never read, you can get a solid 9.2, 9.4 out of it. I'm sure. Because I was just always stored. My point being is I'm considering selling one slab, and but like these are.
Do you have a lot, or?
I just started collecting again, getting back into it only 11 months ago.
Yeah.
And in that 11 months, I've already got, I think it's 22 slabs. You know, and that's not like I bought slabs. This is out of my collection that I got slabbed. That's why.
Yeah, you send stuff in.
I only am pretty much carrying either a yellow label or a red label from CBCS, which is still a signature but authenticated series because of the date in which that I got these signatures done.
Yeah.
You know, it's before these businesses were around. Yeah. But like here, this is one of them I'm going to be selling. This is Joy in the Future.
Oh, nice. That's a great cover.
And this is by Zach Kaplan, and this just came out before that whole pandemic thing. And and yeah, this is not only a killer story, but yeah, this is signed. And this is actually a exclusive, a comic bug exclusive. So there's not a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is a Kanto.
I have that shit. Oh, it's signed too. Cool. What's up, the Wednesday pool list? What's going on, brother? Hope you guys are doing good.
Oh, hey, Wednesday pool list. How's it going? And then
they have awesome podcasts.
I have
oh yes, I want to read that.
Sweetheart.
Is it good? Yeah, I haven't read it. I heard a lot of good things. I heard a lot of good things.
Got the 1 in 10 variant.
Oh, nice.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell it as a pack of the cover A and the cover B variant, and then cover A is signed, and cover B will come with that, and then I'll just sell that as a lot. And I got 2 sets of that. And then so that this is the second one of that 1 in 10. And then got another one, which I'm thinking about keeping myself. And then that's just of that.
You need to keep a copy for yourself.
Well, I actually have another set.
So, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember, but I ended up giving away a set too, and I interviewed Dylan.
Huh? I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, I've so many interviews now, and then I have. I'm thinking about what is it? Not that one. Not that one. No, it's not in here anywhere. No. I was actually considering selling one of my Clone Wars. This is a 1 in 10 variant.
Oh, wow.
You know, I know that they're hard to come by, and I was, you know.
What's up, Ben Compton?
but I didn't get it signed. And there's people and stuff that I was waiting on, to get signed.
Yeah.
So, but I know there's an event happening that I'm going to go to, and I'm going to pick up some books and maybe they have some signed stuff there too. I might pick up a couple of Batman 89s, a couple of Hell Risen #3s, all single, first issues. And again, they're all going to be sold at this auction that we're going to be doing next.
Nice.
Sunday. And the cool thing is it's going to create such an even playing field. It's not, no one's going to be sniveling about how things were set up. So it makes me feel good to know that it's getting rid of a lot of the complaints that we had in the past. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to actually having a little bit of room.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because I know that I already pre-bought 3 months of issues, and if I add up all the books that I have coming in, I'm already totaling over 211 books coming in the next 3 months, and that's not the stuff that I buy for my LCS.
Yeah.
So if I'm not getting rid of some of this stuff,
that website that you order from, right?
I do DCBS along with I have my local shops. I hit up 3 local shops, and then now that I'm going to be doing a show next week, I'm probably going to be increasing 2 more shops, which one will be Arsenal Comics and Collectibles. Will probably be one of them that I'm going to be frequenting more often. And I always have done what is the name of that place now? Collectibles, which is I've always played over at Fat Collectibles, but now I'm gonna have an interview with Collectors Paradise, and they have 3 separate stores. So between just 5 shop owners that I'm talking to right now, that's 9 shops.
It's a lot of shops that you're supporting.
So I gotta talk to the wife and tell her that she owes a kidney to one of my shops.
You got 2 of them. You'll be fine.
But yeah, it was nice to be able to talk to my shop, set up a wait. I can go ahead and pick up a few books. And as you saw, I got 2 of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I ended up picking up my Sweetheart stuff. I ended up picking up. God, what else did I end up getting? Oh yeah, all that. Like I saw you, I want to get one of those Cantos for people.
Oh yeah.
And then I ended up finally picking up the stuff, non-type buying stuff, which was I've been wanting to get this annual, which is a Web of Spider-Man annual.
Oh, yeah. I want to finish that run. I have issue 1 up there on the wall.
And this is what I was telling you that I end up buying. When I see these things.
That's awesome.
It was $3. I couldn't leave it there. And then Facsimile for $1.
Oh, nice.
Ice Cream Man.
Yeah.
So
I heard really good things about that. I haven't read it yet.
Ludicrous.
Huh.
It's wild. It's definitely not for everyone.
No.
And then Dollhouse Family.
Oh yes, I love that series. What issue is that? Is that the most?
6, so this completes it, I believe.
Nice.
And then I ended up picking up 2 of these.
Oh, sweet.
And the reason why is
that the reason?
It's the Marvel Action Avengers. So it's the IDW stuff, number 10. And hey, K Titus.
What's up, K Titus? Our Japanese brother.
And the reason why I pulled that up and got these books of the Marvel Action is 1, like it ends it. 2, it's a low print run. 3, it's the first appearance of the Yellow Hulk.
I heard about that. Yeah.
See, there's no Yellow Hulk that's ever appeared in any real canon other than a video game. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this. I'm going to hold on to this for a little bit. And because of, we're in a weird time, a weird influx of things. So when dust settles in a few months and we all get a chance to almost kind of get into a form of routine of reading again and stuff like that and realize all this is happening and that's happening, are we going to go to come to certain realizations of, hey, you realize that origin was back in this story, or that first appearance was back here, or, that story was, what I mean? And it's going to be a while before we get to that because of not everyone's still feeling comfortable.
I heard Marvel's starting to put out books next week. Am I correct? Yeah. Yeah. Which is awesome because the Venom story is going to be continuing, right?
25.
Yeah. I have to add that to my. Well, I think I'm pretty sure.
There's only a few Marvel titles coming out next week. Like DC did this week. They're not going to hurt the person. There'll be more trade stuff coming out. And the Marvel Venom 25 will conclude what's been going on, and it's completing what's set up in 24, where Dylan turned into that spoiler 3, 2 of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he turns that symbiote Tyrannosaurus.
I saw that.
That's going to jump on, and all this is going to go ahead and really change on what the next level of everything's going to be. And to me, what's being omitted is some of the stuff that's happening in Scream, because I'm not certain how it's going to work, and I'm going to end up finding this out tomorrow.
Yeah, because you're interviewing the right,
and I want to know. She's doing all the stuff that both Spider-Man used to do and Venom used to do, as far as I'm talking about Scream, Andy, and they're not around doing it, and she's the only one doing it, and she's taken on this new role, and as much as she's being influenced by the call of Noel, as much as she's doing this anti-hero stuff that supposedly in Venom 25 is going to eliminate Eddie Brock's ability to do so. Supposedly he's not going to be that anti-hero he was anymore. Something's going to change major. That, to me, this all sets up Scream, but I'm not hearing how they're interwoven in any way. So I don't know. I want to know. Because there's so much happening. There's so much happening in Scream.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to read it. How many issues do they have so far?
Right now, it's only up to 6.
Really? I didn't realize there were so many issues. I want to, because I've been trying to. I usually don't read digitally, but I've been reading on the Marvel Unlimited app. And it's been coming in handy. I've been able to catch up on Venom. Like I just read issue number 4, which is issue 3 was awesome. Like that's why I was going to ask. Like, do you think the whole Noel coming to Earth is going to be turned into an event? Because they have so many events coming up, like the whole Empire event that's coming up.
Yeah, that's why they're going to be They have to be putting off this whole Scream thing for a while. The only thing would be in Thor. So I don't. I mean, not Scream thing, but I mean Null thing. The only thing. So I see stuff happening in Thor, but I can't see a whole lot happening in Venom yet until towards the end of the year when all this Empire.
Issue 5 comes out next week too, right?
Of what?
Of Thor? Doesn't that come out next week too?
Yeah. Next week? I'm not certain if it's next week. I want to say it's the week after. And I'm trying to see what I have on Scream, Savage.
I wonder if that's on Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I got 5. So 6 comes out. And 6 is a big deal. If I recall, I got 3 different issues of 6 because there's some spoiler reveal from Scorse, I think.
I've been reading separation anxiety.
Oh, okay.
It's been really good.
Now, this is what I tell people. I go, and this is one of the things I'm going to bring up when I do the interview is this. No matter the popularity of any of the symbiotes in the past, Carnage included.
Yeah.
Right? There's only been one that's been able to maintain an ongoing series, and that's only because of Cates. Right? Now, outside of that, there has now only been one ongoing series of a relatively new rebirth of a new symbiote, because the person that's this host, that's a new host for this symbiote.
Oh, okay. So it's not the same. It's not the same lady from last time.
But
Okay.
not only that, but beyond that, my point being is the writer is conducting an amazing feat, and the fact that Marvel decided they wanted to have a successive story and have an ongoing one, I actually see them doing. Oh, how about we do this? How about doing mini series of 4 or 5? Do a trade, see the success, tell them we'll do another mini, see the success, then we'll test the waters with that, and then do an ongoing. They gave the whole car and the keys to Play and said, drive this puppy. And man, the job he is doing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Out of one of the only ones I'm having as much fun in the Marvel universe on an exciting level like this is, I would say, Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider and Scream right now are my two funnest journeys I'm having as far as it being a fun adventure. And
I'm finally starting to read it. I have like a bunch of books that I've been meaning to get back into reading, but I was only those weren't on my pulls. Those were just books that I'm going to see how good this is. And a lot of people have been saying really great things.
It's what
even with like the Avengers, I collect the ongoing Avengers story that's going on right now, and they had like the whole trial of the Ghost Riders.
The every other issue of Ghost Rider since it started has been a key. There's been key moments in there. I'm not saying they're key issues and go out and spend. No, what I'm saying they've been reintroducing old characters. Yeah. They're explaining older characters. They brought out older characters and done one shots with these characters because they're so significant. It's Ed Bryson's doing such a great job with this. Kruder's doing a great job with this. I'm having a wonderful time. Again, as much as a wonderful time I'm having with this Scream, I'm having the same fun with this Ghost Rider. And that's why I'm looking. I actually reached out to even Ed on Ghost Rider just
nice.
Today. I try to get a hold of him, and I'm hoping I can land him too, because
that'd be awesome.
Well, to be able to speak with Clay tomorrow is, I keep telling him it's Kai and I were just I always call myself a symbiote slut. I love anything related. I love the stuff. You know what I mean? But the fact that I have an opportunity to speak to someone that has created a character, and this is how I feel about Scream. It's been decades since we've been able to get a character like Peter Parker, the way he was in the first decade of his birth. Going through his journey of a kid dealing with the fact that he has this power that he doesn't want, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great tale of its time, and it won over the people of its time. And to this day, it's a classic. Now, the difference of today is Peter Parker. He's come to terms. He's good with it. You know what I mean? And we've accepted the fact that he's accepted what he has to contend with. Yeah. So we don't have that anymore until now with Scream. This is the identical story in the sense that we get with Scream, but told in a totally different way, because one, she doesn't want this. Two, she's double cursed now. She has a curse of these demons that have scarred her, and now she has these ties with hell. And
shit. I did not know that.
And she has these psychic abilities to be able to conjure not only fire, but now the symbiote joining with her has this ability to do these sonic blasts, which goes exactly opposite with everything that we know about symbiotes and how they get wounded, which is both like fire and sound. And that's what that's where Scream is. So we have Andy dealing with the fact that she has something she doesn't want to deal with. She's contending with it like the way Peter did. But worse yet, she has to deal with something that Eddie Brock has made amends with years ago. She has a
Yeah.
symbiote that's talking to her, and she wants nothing to do with it, and it's driving her up the fucking wall.
Yeah, but even in anxiety, separation anxiety, like that's why they came to Brock. You know, that's why they broke him out. It's like we want to learn how to control this. Like you are the closest person to control this. You know,
And to put the whole little cherry right on top of everything. Where's she staying at? Because she is on the streets. She has nowhere to stay. She
no way.
The beauty about this is where she's staying at is in a homeless shelter. Guess who runs it?
Who?
Aunt May.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
It is so beautifully fucking written that I mean, it just everything about it just goes choof. You know, Clay is written this masterpiece of a story that I since day one I've been reading this thing, and I've like I said, I've always been in the symbiote stuff, but what I like is if you can take a horror story and humanize it, and you feel compassion for someone that, and sometimes you don't need to have compassion for, meaning you got to remember these symbiotes, they got to live on brains, man. and when they justify it, kind of like we were saying before, there's a lot of gray in the world, right?
Yeah.
That it's eloquent. The story's eloquent. The art's great. Everything about it is just, it's beautiful. That's why it's going to be a privilege to hang out with this guy tomorrow and try to take in as much as he's trying to throw at me, and not sit there and gush and tell him how much I'm in love with everything and continuously keep talking.
You get it out now.
Because damn. And you know me, when I get it behind anything, I push it hard,
Yeah, of course.
And I love this tale. This tale is so good. And yeah, if you haven't even ridden or have read the Ghost Rider, try to jump into that too, because I believe the end of that arc is coming up soon.
How many? Because I only have the first issue. How many issues are there so far?
I want to say we're coming out to 7. I think we're coming up to 7.
Yeah. I bet I'll try to pick up. I'll try to see if my LCS before I order them online has that and Scream, because I didn't realize it was that intense of a story. That's a intense story, dude.
Again, same thing's happening in Ghost Rider, and in Ghost Rider, it starts off with you got one person in hell that doesn't want to be there. Mephisto's locked up in a prison in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he's in that. I love that run.
Johnny Ketch is doesn't want to be a Ghost Rider. So when the what's-it-called comes up from hell and strips his power away, well, now he has to make a deal with no. He's in what is that, purgatory? He goes into like a purgatory place and makes a deal and becomes a whole new, I don't want to ruin it for people, but he becomes a whole new thing. There's a whole new introduction of a whole new character. That's what I'm saying. I don't get why people are not on this shit.
Yeah.
And then and he can just
I feel that way about Black Panther, dude.
and he can take out Ghost Riders now with a swipe of a fucking sword. And it's just amazing. It's just wow. The shit that's going on.
There's so many good stories that get overlooked. Like even like the Jane Foster Thor, like that's a really great run. Like, but not a lot of people talking about it,
Yeah, I do know a couple people that read that Jane Foster Thor. I do know a couple, and they're saying the same thing. Same with like Black Panther. Same with Daredevil. The people that read these things, they are hardcore. They're tried and true.
Well, ever since I read that that recent the one run before the Zdarsky's Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, I read that little mini because it was a 5-issue series, and that was intense. Like dealing with him, giving up the ability, giving up being Daredevil. Spider-Man was like, "You're done, dude. I've followed you here. Like, you never let me follow you. Like, you're done. Like, give it up."
Mm-hmm.
And he was just dealing with like that demon, that fear. So it was a great run, and I need to finish that Sadarsky's run. I've only read up to like issue 7, but it's like up to like what 15 or something like that.
I want to say even a little above that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You know what I like about Chip is if he can focus on arcs. You know what I mean? When he focuses, okay, I'm going to do this five issue chunk, and then this one, he does it so beautifully. When you could look at like Spider-Man, I think it was him, right? He did Life Story.
Huh?
I think it was him.
And everybody like
tell me in the chat if I'm wrong, people. I believe it was him that did that. Yeah, it's a killer story, and Chip has that knack that when he tells these stories, yeah, you can get wrapped up in there, and you just get immersed into the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that I have a couple of books finally again to read, and I'm glad between this week, next week, and then a week after, there are some books that I'm going to finally get to finish, meaning, what is that? Dollhouse Family, I think comes, or is Dollhouse now. And then Basketful of Heads, I think maybe next week or the week after. And yeah, I'm finally get to finish off all these things that I've been dying.
Yeah, I hope like Family Tree continues because I've been really digging that series, that Jeff Lemire story. That's been a really great run. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that like things slowly but surely start coming out, more and more. I'm not sure what the whole indie industry is looking like,
Yeah, I guess you didn't hear the announcement Kai and I did last week about how it's going to be released. Yeah, the way it's working out is this week, and some of last week's, depending on who got sub. Actually, and I'm going to give you some news. Remind me to give you some hot news if I forget.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much DC and the indies were jockeying in position to get ready to do what they have to do as far as their own distribution, how they're going to do it, and get everything active. DCBS in Midtown is basically the second largest distributor shipping in comparison to Diamond when it comes to sending their stuff out there to the mass, and they're essentially almost number one when it comes to online distributorship and sales. So they're the ones who are essentially backed underneath some type of umbrella thing. I don't know how it works out or whatever. Through them somehow, they're the ones that are kind of doing this whole DC thing, that they were the ones that were doing that independent push for DC to, and not through Diamond. And somehow, some way, something like that is being done. That's how that worked out. All right. So right now, that's how that stuff got put out already.
Interesting.
Right? So a lot of these smaller indies, what they've been trying to do is direct sales online for the past 2 weeks, and then they're going to start shipping things out to the shops. Not only that, but they're starting to see arrivals. What I mean arrivals this is the hot news that I didn't want to forget. I cannot confirm or deny this rumor that I'm about to tell you. But I so happen to see a bunch of Diamond boxes being loaded into a couple of shops today. Now, those things weren't necessarily from this week's order.
Interesting.
Now, I do know that what they were for is orders that were yet to be made up through past orders through Diamond, in which that was being held up through the distribution warehouse. What I mean by that is, as Kai and I mentioned last week, there was already stuff sitting at certain warehouses waiting to be just pushed out. But due to the fact that they were getting so backlogged and things were being pushed in the back, that was stuff that was supposed to be being shipped out first
Mm.
So they had to rotate everything inside, a lot of these warehouses and get things out, which held up a lot of distribution. So so that was one of the reasons why they purposely also want to slow things up. One, not to hurt the actual consumer, but two, to allow them proper allocation of books. They didn't want to release next week's books this week by accident. So it's easier for them to just slowly filter out a few books that they can quality control to make, ensure that what they were sending out was the books that they want to send out.
Yeah.
So more Diamond books arrived today, along with possibly a couple of indie boxes with non-Diamond labeling arrived today at a couple shops, and that proves the fact that there is some early distribution and some makeup distribution starting to happen.
Yeah.
Allowing some of these shops to be able to play catch up, because I don't know if you know this, a lot of these shops already, when they do their pre-orders, they got stuck with the fact that they already put out their money for a product that they had to wait 2 months to receive. And in regards, they had to pay up rent for something that they weren't making any revenue on, new product. Some of these people had to totally shut down and not even be able to do any sales, or in some regards, the majority of shop owners, especially those of which that are really small mom and pop places, don't have access to internet's ready style of sales.
Yeah.
So those people had an even more significant difficult time. The reason why I'm bringing that up is this. One, they were some of the last people that had the ability to either get their stuff in, or afterwards that they already paid out money. Diamond didn't give any of these people money back.
Wow.
So they just held their product and said, we're going to get you your product when we get you your product. Well, like I already told you, almost, a half hour ago, I'm 3 months paid up.
Yeah.
But that's me. I didn't have to put out for buying for my community.
Yeah.
That killed me. You know what I mean? So I understand where they're coming from, and I understand the difficulties and why some of these people actually went away and they're not going to be able to open up. But the ones that are coming back are finally filtering in their stuff, and they're dying to sell these things, but they can only sell them knowing that what they can sell. So a lot of things, even though they ordered 3 months ago, they were still looking at what was happening and scaled a lot of their orders, you know what I mean? Because they still get their normal FOC at their, anywhere from 5 to 3 weeks, depending on what product it is and if it's an indie. So, no, they may not have been a full 3 months out, but they were 3 months out of being able to make any rent. They were 3 months out of being able to make any retail sales of any new product. But some of these places were as far back as 2 FOC behind, depending on who they are and how they order, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I know that was lengthy, but to give you a quick summary, last week only, and this week only DC. Next week, a little bit DC and Marvel. The week after that, they'll double up on the DC and almost on the Marvel. The week after that, they'll do almost the same, to where they're catching up to where they used to be. But used to be still means that they're playing catch up, which means that we're now in February, the late February releases. At the end of next week, we'll be into March release. Into the end of the next month, we'll into March, April combo. Into the next month of that, we'll be in the April, May combo. But that will put us already into July, August.
Yeah.
So they're not going to hit us to where they're going to hammer us with all of everything at once as an avalanche of things. But they are going to start. But they are going to start the blend months after essentially 2 months have gone by.
Yeah.
So get ready to get hurt a little bit. But if you're not doing a heavy amount of the big two, and you don't get wrapped up in any major event, meaning death metal, speed metal, which will happen after that.
No.
On the DC side, and then any of the Empires or the Scroll stuff on the Marvel side.
I think I'm going to leave it alone.
Me too.
It looks interesting. Like,
I would leave that alone.
awesome to see Ben Grimm as like holding that hammer, but I don't know. I can't. I just know like I already have a lot on my. I'm already reading like most of the X-Men runs. The X-Men titles. You know, and I'm
Now,
still.
in Death Metal, the big introduction on that is the Robin King. So that's going to be a whole new Batman and Laugh style character that is going to be ongoing.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I mean, and you know me, I love my indie stuff too. So that gets to be really difficult because I got Warcorns coming in, which was, I don't know if you remember that interview I did with Garrett, and once that comes in, that puts me back into buying all that Franklin and Ghost stuff, more Warcorns, because there's going to be a mini series after the one shot that just got announced.
Gotcha.
And that's just that. I mean, like I said, I got a lot.
Yeah.
I just paid for my my July pre-orders. That cost me 174, like 13.
Wow.
That's just my online orders.
Yeah, I know.
I hit up,
cool. Yeah.
I hit up all these other shops.
Yeah.
That's where I buy all my indie stuff.
Your main shop doesn't have the indies, or there's
no. What I'm saying is like that 174, that one shy of 175. That's my online orders. That's my DCBS orders.
Oh yeah.
And then all because of all my shops, they carry all my indie stuff that I end up buying all my indie stuff through there. Plus, a lot of times when things are in a whatever you want to consider normal situation, a lot of times these individuals are doing signing events. I'm looking in advance going, oh, such and such is coming out with this book, and they only live 2-3 cities away from me. I'm going to go visit them knowing that eventually they're going to do a signing event. So I wait to buy the book and looking for the signing event, knowing that they're going to, they're promoting their product.
Yeah.
So yeah, I rely on doing my online purchases on the bigger, more known stuff to try to get the discount. And then when it comes to indies, I give all my shop money, or all my indie money to the shops and support them. And then I try to support the individual people themselves by seeing them.
Yeah.
Pick up prints, things like that.
I can't wait until we can actually do we can do Comic-Cons, I still haven't been to one, I was gonna go to MegaCon, but no Corona thing stopped that.
I got a feeling it's going to be next year.
I hope so. They're talking about March for next year.
Yeah, and as far as cons, the only thing I can actually see is something happening maybe is early as the end of July, maybe in August. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, to say the least.
I'm gonna be interested to see what the fall is gonna look like. And I'm looking at it from a teacher's perspective because I'm like, that's one of the things that I'm wondering what's gonna happen going into next year. Like, is school gonna be virtually part-time and then go back to actually being in school? I've heard situations where they're kids are going to be in just one class and then they can't go see other, they can't do PE and all that stuff because they don't want to risk the spread or whatever.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
It is. One of the stories I end up reading both my son and my daughter early in their lives. Kai, say hi.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
Is a story I recommend everyone in the community to read because it will probably take you around 3 to 5 minutes to read it. And it's a story from, is it Isaac Asimov or is it I think it's Isaac Asimov.
Asimov.
Yeah, and he's known for, I'm almost positive it's him. and he's known for writing short stories. He's one of my favorite sci-fi writers. The story's around 4 pages long, and it's called The Fun They Had. And what it's about is kids learning through virtually and with a robot. And these kids come across a story on paper about how kids used to learn in a house gathered around with people, other kids, and they would learn together in a communal way. That's the story. And this was written by Asimov. I want to say either the mid to late 40s, maybe early 50s.
Let me see, because I'm actually looking at it right now. Yeah, 51.
Okay, yeah. And it's so eloquently, I love Asimov because, like Arthur C. Clarke.
2157. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, and if you really want your mind to be blown, there's another story. Oh my God, it's actually a story that changed my life. And it's actually the most commonly misremembered story. That's why I can remember the title right now. Okay.
Yeah,
I can read. It's always in the first line. And the first line goes, half in jest. It's half in jest. The last question.
You're remembering quotes right now?
The last question is the name of the story. The last, and the name, and this is one of my favorite all-time quotes of. I almost want to be buried with this quote because it's so perfect. The last question. Wait. The name of the story is the last question. The last question was first.
The last question.
The last question was first asked half in jest. That's the line, and it's so when you read the story, and you're done with the story. If you reread that one line, you may not stop laughing for a good 15-20 seconds.
Yeah. I already pulled both. I'm about to read both of these after this.
It won't take you but like 2 or 3 minutes. I have called The Billion Names of God, and you can probably find it in like a nickel and dime shop for 99 cents. Or
yeah, we got a bunch of like half price bookstores out here, so I know I can.
It's just filled with all of his pulp fiction style, literatures, all the way from. I don't want to misquote. I mean, you saw how close I was with that, being in the late 40s.
Yeah.
I want to say it might be some of his early works. Some stuff maybe as early in the 30s, but stuff all the way is late into like the 60s, I believe.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm kind of curious now.
Oh, well, if you really want to have your mind blown, look to see what he did. He was the guy that used to teach people on Channel 28 on all the public TV stuff and
really.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But see, my dad, he taught me that, with if you want reward, you got to put in a little work. So he wanted sometimes to blend the two. So he found that, look, go ahead and give me a little learning, but I'm going to give you some fun learning. Go ahead and watch this guy. So when I was exposed to him on TV, I was like, oh, this is cool.
That's cool.
But my dad also, he read comics too when he was a kid, so it was something easy for him to get into.
Yeah.
On a science and a science fiction.
Yeah. And my mom was into science fiction. So that's why I got exposed to a lot of like sci-fi movie, TV shows. She didn't watch, she probably watched Doctor Who, but she was a big like Star Wars and Star Trek fan. Like I watched a lot of like Generation Voyager with her. Like she watched all like the original with Captain Kirk, when she was a kid. My mom.
Favor, because I'm a space cadet. Try to write this down too. One of my favorite books of all time is Arthur C. Clarke, and it's his last book that he wrote.
Oh yeah.
Which is Light of Other Days, and he wrote that with Stephen Baxter. Now, if you can't find that anywhere for just a few cents, I'm gonna look for it around here. If I can find it, I'll send it to you because that's another book that that
Oh,
will
again.
Light of Other Days.
Light of Other Days.
Yeah, it's another sci-fi guy. So the cool thing about Arthur C. Clarke, he wrote 2001: Space Odyssey and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's how I know him.
Yeah, this is his last book that he wrote that I know of. I don't think he did anything else. I don't think he's alive anymore, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that was his last book. And oh my God, that's another book that really these are all stories that will really challenge your mind, your thinking, sometimes maybe even spirituality. They can get really introspective, but they're told in these great ways that it keeps you interested, and you don't really get how it hits you with all these different little, what I mean? These things that hit you with at the end. They start challenging certain ideas and thoughts that you may have.
Anything about wormhole technology, I'm all in.
Well, and beyond wormhole technology, it's the wormhole technology is implanted into your head.
No way.
Vacuum. Yeah, dude, it's killer. It's killer. Yeah, you start. It's a matter of traveling in space and time without traveling type things. Like Dune type thing, but the wormhole,
like an instantaneous kind of thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, believe me when I tell you all these reads, you'll be like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, fun stuff, and especially just the Asimov stuff is stuff you'll blow through. They're only a couple pages.
Yeah, it's just a short story. So,
but the as you well know, Arthur C. Clarke, he's a lot more asking of you as a reader to say, "Hey, look, I need your dedication, because if you walk away from me, you're not going to get the same feel as if you hang out with me and enjoy this journey for a while."
I'm surprised I didn't see this growing up, because this came out in 2000. I think I was in middle school when that came out.
Yeah. But, I mean, we were all in different places at different times. This is stuff my dad was reading, and then when I told him when I was getting into these things, he's like, "Son, when I was at this age, that's when I was reading that. Wait till you get to such and such page." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then again, these are some of the things I've shared with my kids already. I'm just passing it on.
That's cool. You can pass that. You can pass it on like that.
Yeah, like a virus or a germ.
So you will like this book.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate you hanging out with me again. And as always,
time.
The drink is pretty much gone. So am I. So as I take one last sip here. Thank you much. And is there anything coming up for you in the near future?
We were supposed to do because I do Not Near Mint with Rob, Lady Fantastic, and Miracle Man. We usually do it every Wednesday. But Rob was having some technical difficulties, so we moved it to tomorrow. So it'll be tomorrow at 7:35 my time, which is I think what's that, 10 o'clock your guys' time? So on Not Near
West Coast. I'm West Coast.
Yeah, on the West Coast. Yeah. So come check us out. We'll be talking. I think we're going to be talking about the art of splash page. So it should be a cool conversation. If you guys have time, come check us out. What about you? What you got? I know you have Artist Alley tomorrow, which I can't wait for.
Yeah, we have Artist Alley tomorrow. After that, which I invite everyone to please come check us out. I mean, Clay McLeod Chapman. This is a big deal.
Same time, 10:30.
We will do this show at 10:30 in the morning a.m. Pacific time. Please, As always, I'll have my co-host Christy Shin from Horatory Studios.
Yeah, nice.
She has a Kickstarter going on with another one of her books, and wow, this one is just, she keeps topping herself on just wow, the stuff that she comes up with.
More demon bitch stuff.
It's well, and you know what? I'm thinking if we don't get anyone for the following week, which we're working on 2 people right now, I may end up putting her into the slot because she has a Kickstarter going on, and we started the whole Artist Alley thing with her, and I think it's almost right to kind of redo it again with her. So I'm thinking, we're still figuring that out. But also Monday, we also do our Margarita Monday. Cocktails and Comics on Friday is dedicated for the YouTubers. I throw out to the invite to everybody. Margarita Monday, I throw that invite out to all the artists and creators. So that's basically what that show's about. And then now that books are coming in, Kai and I are able to go ahead and get our books and show them to you guys on Wednesday and or Thursday. Hopefully next Thursday, we're going to have another Thespian Thursday. We're probably going to reshoot the whole last Thespian Thursday, upload it as a video, and then we may be doing Adgrasuko is a live performance for Thespian Thursday.
Wow, that would be awesome.
So that'll allow me to go ahead and do a little death books stuff, and yeah, this should be fun because it's going to be nothing else but interesting. So hey, look for mine, look for us. Please come back in tomorrow morning, and from us at 1-2 Comic Talk. Thank you for